60-year-old Marc Fogel was sentenced to 14 years last summer for having medical marijuana, just like WNBA star Brittany Griner.
History teacher makes history.
We are at the Capitol of the United States. So I worked on this film. I was the cinematographer. It's called Did You Forget Mr. Fogel? It's all about an American school teacher named Marc Fogel who was detained in Russia about 3 years ago, and he's still there. Marc Fogel was detained in Russia for possession of a half an ounce of cannabis oil, and he doesn't have the technical designation as wrongfully detained. And he needs that in order for the United States to put the resources forward to bring him home the same way we did for Brittany Griner. And so it's the exact same scenario as Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner ended up getting wrongful detainment designation after 2 weeks of being there, and Marc still has not received it. So we took a big leap of faith and we helped make this documentary with one of our past interns named Max Karpman. He's just graduated from Chapman University, and he made an incredible documentary to help advocate for Marc and bring him back to the United States.
We are at the U.S. Capitol, about to screen Did You Forget Mr. Fogel? Very, very excited because today is actually the 1 year anniversary since this project started. And we never expected to be screening at the Capitol. Hi everybody, my name is Max Karpman. I'm the director of Did You Forget Mr. Fogel? Thank you guys really so much for being here. I was actually a student at the Anglo-American School in Moscow, and I was lucky enough to be taught by Mark's wife, Jane. So Mrs. Fogel was my teacher when I was in 7th grade, and Mr. Fogel taught my older sister. We really worked to make something powerful, undeniably real, emotional, so that when anybody watches it, they cannot forget Mr. Fogel. So we started this film, it was just going to be about Mr. Fogel's case, but it really evolved into a story about his family, whose raw vulnerability reveals the true impact of this kind of situation, far beyond any news headline. Let me tell you, as someone who spent a lot of time with them, the Fogels are a truly remarkable family of strength and resilience, but they can't fight forever. They need to be reunited with Marc urgently, and at almost 63 years old, with the myriad of health challenges, he cannot survive forever in a Russian prison. Definitely not 14 years. So as you watch this film, thank you again so much for being here, and I really urge you, while you're here, while you're watching this, please think about what you can do to make sure Mr. Fogel's not forgotten. So thank you guys for your time, and I hope you enjoy the film.
Hello, room 4039 in Moscow.
He's an extraordinary person.
He's incredibly empathetic. He really made you feel seen.
I always kind of viewed him as the luckiest person on the planet. But this does seem to be a harsh reality check.
Fogel is a teacher who was arrested when he tried to enter the country with medical marijuana.
People who had a lot of experience in Russia thought that he would be out in 5 or 6 months.
Marc Fogel was sentenced to 14 years last summer.
We know that Marc was set up because he's an American. The U.S. government has resources to bring him back a person who's wrongfully detained. Marc is a hostage. He will die in a Russian prison unless the U.S. government brings him back.
They want to use Marc as trade bait for Russians that are incarcerated here in the United States. Tragically, there's other Americans in the queue.
My mother is almost 95 years old. She's sad every day, and she's trying to hold on in the belief that she'll see her son again.
Marc, I'm doing everything in my power to get you home. We will keep trying, and I will keep trying.
It's Mark on the phone.
It's Mark.
Do
Oh.
Hey, I love you. We're gonna get cut off in about 10 seconds, but it's just great to hear your voice.
The more people that know about Mark, the more people that hear his story, the closer he'll get to coming home. If you're trying to help bring an amazing American home, we would really appreciate it. So, thanks.